Yeah, some, but they just say he's better.
Do you have any experience with the kind of thing he's dealing with? And if so, like what's the?
Yeah, I mean, he just had a lot of guys have injuries, unfortunately. So, he's got enough experience. So we'll just, they say, day by day.
Could he go off just mostly a week of mental reps? Would you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I'll make that decision on Friday. After tomorrow or so.
How do you put a game plan together, though, with three different quarterbacks that have three different types of skill sets? What's the challenge?
I've always had that anyways. They know the plays that they're going to have when they go in. Certain things that they've repped that have a menu. Obviously, the menu is not as large as the starter. So I've always, unfortunately, used to not worry about the backup, but it happened when I was head coach at UMass. We lost two guys in the first quarter, so just more injuries to quarterbacks nowadays. The speed of the game, and everybody's throwing it a little bit more. So, so those, today was better than yesterday. Yesterday was good. Today was better than yesterday for those guys, for Logan and Chubba, and then we got to, then you go to the next guy, who's that's the one you worry about if you have to go down now for the third guy.
The next guy would be Masker.
No, probably, I'm not sure, because one of the guys got injured. So, when it rains, it pours. So, but that'll be more of a limited menu. But, I talk to each of the guys separate, that way, with especially yesterday before practice, and making sure we get the reps that they're comfortable with and the looks that that we think we're going to get, that they'll see from from Minnesota.
What was your message to Chubb as you went through the film, and how have you seen him bounce back this week?
Well, I told the whole offense we were disappointed, and probably wasn't fair to Chubb. He did not practice the last 2 days of the week and really wanted to play, and he got hurt, and he's fine now. So going back, I don't know whether I should have or not, and that's why Logan went in the second quarter, because I wasn't sure exactly where he was. And when I looked at his eyes at halftime, he felt like he was good, but he wasn't really prepared mentally with But I think we let down when Casey went down, and I think that it gave Illinois a boost, and just something we got to deal with.
So he got dinged a little last week. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't practice the last part of the week. So.
Did you get Gabe Urban back this week at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's better. Kind of like the Casey's better. So.
Mark, how much if they're both healthy, how much of a difference is there in just the repertoire of plays that's available between Logan and Chubb?
There's some, but it's also with the guys around. It'll probably more entail how the game's going, on those things. It's a completely different defense than we faced last week. So there's not somewhat there's carryover, but not really kind of the way that Minnesota plays defense. And they're both really good, just two different styles. So, that we probably had a little bit more in last week because we had an extra week, but we pared it down a little bit more. And as I said, there's not a complete different style. It's really what it comes down to. And both are really good. Both are really good teams, and they're going to run the ball. You limited chances, and because of where the style is, and you got to make the most of it. And that probably was the biggest disappointment last week. Was we had the ball in the red zone and turn it over twice. We've been decent at that, and that flipped the game. Obviously, don't come out with any points, and turning the ball over there is you're not going to win many games that way, especially against the number one defense in the country.
How do you feel about where Logan is at in the throw?
I thought he had his best 2 days. I think it's someone that's just maybe natural when you're third, but the third guy gets reps in the way I do things. Not as many, but I told him, I said it was the best he looked that I've seen him since I've been here. Yesterday and today, both those two guys. It's kind of like So I'm pleased with that. Yeah, Logan's done well.
You mentioned the difference in styles of defense between Illinois and Minnesota. What are those differences, and how does that change the way you?
Illinois is just a lot more man press and those things, and Minnesota is a little bit more split safety and a little bit more different, a few more different coverages, a little bit more variation on third down. So, and as I said, both of them, they've been established, and both of them play really good defense. So, we got to execute better, and what I've seen so far, it's been, for the 2 days, has been good. But as I told them last week, I didn't think our Thursday outside was very good, and the 2 days were really good, and that kind of showed up. So we got to have a really good day tomorrow.
What do they do so well specifically on third down, stopping offenses as much as they do on third down?
Early on in the season, they were so far ahead of the people that they played a lot of zone and drop it, that way. But they mix it up, and they got their corners are really good. Established guys, and their safeties are really good tacklers, inside backers. They got a lot of experience. They're big and strong and physical. Played that same way. I don't know how long PJ's been there, 5 years, maybe now 4, but that's the same defense they've had. So there's, structurally they're really sound and do a really good job, and in the right places, and very opportunistic. When they get the chance to have the hands on the ball, they end up coming down with it a lot.
Are you anticipating playing both Logan and Chubb, or is that?
I'll see later on in the week. I want to make sure tomorrow. There's a good chance. Logan's got a little more experience, but they're both. As I said, I feel a lot better than I did when all of a sudden Casey went down. It was kind of the one thing I didn't want to happen, and not that I ever want that to happen, but so I feel better about it now. I don't feel good about the third guy, so but that's football. So you get them ready and you play who's ready to play.
What have they shown you in practice that makes you feel more comfortable with them?
Well, carrying it, execution, and throwing it, and management, and a little upbeat, a little more leadership. It's hard for that second guy, third guy. So that part, and just the way they're carrying themselves. And I spent a little more time with them yesterday. I don't know if that, they practiced good today. So just saying, here's the things we're going to do. And if you're not comfortable, they're different than Casey, and we've thrown some things out and added a couple things. So that part, I've always felt like, hey, when a quarterback hears the play coming in and it's familiar and feels good about it, then you're going to give a little more leadership, a little more confidence to the group, and I've seen that more so than I saw last Saturday.
Anything else, guys?
What has Chubb done this week, if anything, to better mentally prepare playoffs?
He practiced. He didn't practice last week, so just that getting the reps, that part, and having a little more discussion. We had a really good meeting on Sunday, going over the stuff that way. Just him and I, no other quarterbacks, and where he's at that way. And told him, I say, man, I believe you. Everybody in his team believes in you. So there's a good chance you'll be the starter. So take it that way. And as I said, one game doesn't make a career. So we'll see how it goes that way. Both of them in Logan, Logan had his chance at Iowa and did some really good things, and so he's got experience. So I feel good about those guys, especially the way they've gone about their business this week.